Hello guys, welcome back. In today's video, we're gonna see how we can test our glue code or basically develop our glue code from AWS Glue service via notebook. I think I do not to tell you what are notebooks because I have been using these notebooks from last two sessions, and if you are coming from data engineering, data warehousing, or maybe if you are a data scientist, even if you are a data analyst, then also you would be already aware of what is this Jupyter notebook and what are basically these notebooks, right? So notebooks are basically a interactive way of creating a file where you can write your code in an interactive fashion. You can run your code and you can even save the output, right? So that you can um, quickly go back and see what have you done last time, or maybe for teaching purpose you can create some MD cell also. So it is quite interactive and it is quite helpful in every aspect, in every field, whether you are data engineer, analyst, or data scientist. Okay, so I need not to tell you about these notebooks. I hope you are already aware of it. But still, let's talk about some couple of points related to it from AWS official documentation. So let's quickly read. It allows you, basically Glue Studio allows you to interactively author job in a notebook interface based on Jupyter Notebook. So yeah, as of now, you might have noticed that whenever I was creating a ETL job in AWS Glue, I was going to AWS Glue service, clicking on ETL job and then clicking on script editor. But here we have an option that we can also test your code using the notebook by clicking this button. I will quickly show you, but before that, let's finish these couple of points over here. Through Notebook in AWS Glue Studio, you can edit JavaScript and view the output without having to run a full job. Yeah, this is a very important point actually. Let's say I'm using a script editor, then in that case, I will get this kind of a Glue ETL. I'll just go inside that, and I agree that here also we are getting some sort of an editor where we can write our Glue job and then test it. But this is not an interactive way of developing your script, because every time you're writing your script, then running it and then waiting for it to get either succeeded or failed. If it gets succeeded, good, happy path. But if it gets failed, then you're gonna check the error details either here in this section you will get error detail. Otherwise, you will have to go to the error logs and you need to investigate why your particular glue job got failed, right? So you're gonna get error something like this on high level, and on detail level you're gonna click on error logs. So let's say your job got failed, you're gonna debug the issue and you will get to know, okay, what is the issue. You will again fix it, you will again save your job and run it again. So this cycle will keep on going, and believe me, this is quite frustrating, right? So let's say you have changed your job 10 times, and every time on an average it is running for 5 minutes, so you are wasting your 50 minutes, guys. And one more thing, whenever you run your ETL job, you by this time you might be aware of it that at least it take 1 minute just to start the job, and after that your jobs get triggered. So it need 1 minute or 1.5 minute or 2 minute in order to spin up the backend cluster. So here we can see that writing your ETL jobs using script editor is not that efficient, especially when you are developing or testing something. So in that case, this notebook will come really very handy. There are some benefit, no cluster to provision. Yes, we are not provisioning any cluster. Similar to the ETL job, it's gonna get created serverlessly for us. We need not to worry about it. No ideal cluster to pay for. Yeah, so till the time we are working on our notebook, we have to pay the price. Just like the till the time we our Glue ETL jobs are running, we pay the price. So once our notebook is closed, once we have stopped the session, we need not to pay for any cost. I believe this is self-understood. I need not to explain it again. No upfront configuration. Yeah, we are not doing any configuration. Jupyter Notebook is already will be already available, so it is not of any point of discussion. Let's go ahead and quickly start with the practical demo. Let me click on this notebook, and here you can see that where we have an option that either you can upload any existing notebook. So I can just go ahead and upload any of my existing notebook. But for this demo, let me just click on start fresh, and after that I'll click on I am role. So similar way we used to select IAM role for Glue ETL jobs. In the similar way we have to select IAM role for our notebook also. I am selecting and clicking on create notebook. Here it gonna take some time, or else if you're gonna see this kind of an error where it says that notebook is stopped, then you just need not to do anything. Maybe you can just go ahead and click delete. It will not do anything, but it will move it back to the same dashboard to you. It might happen. It might show you this kind of a error, but this is nothing but a UI issue. You just need to refresh your page and create a notebook again. So it will actually fix the issue. You just need to refresh your page. So let me click on notebook again, start fresh, and selecting IAM role, clicking on create notebook. And this time you will not see that issue which was coming earlier. So here what it is doing, it is starting my notebook, and once it gets started you will see some boilerplate code, some template code already readily available for us, and the same code will be available in this notebook section, and the same code will be available here in the script. So in the script we already see that code. This particular piece of code only will get divided into different cells when we will see that in notebook. Okay, I think that notebook, yeah, it got created for us. And just like the way we need to select a kernel while running our Jupyter notebook from our laptops, here you can see that this is the kernel I have selected in case of my laptop. Similar way, you will get a default kernel in your case, and that kernel name is Glue PySpark. As of now, till date, you do not have any flexibility to change it. It will remain same, so you cannot, basically, you do not have any control over it. Okay, so let's quickly see what else do we have in here. But before that, let me just show you one more thing. If you want to see how many interactive session or how many notebooks are running in the backend for your account, so what you can do is you can go to data integration and ETL in the left hand side pan, and here you will see an option of interactive session. So you need to just click it, and it's gonna show you how many interactive session you have already opened up in the past. And as soon as we will start our interactive session for our job, we're gonna see one new entry over here. So for now time being, let me just name this notebook. I'll call it as demo notebook. Okay, now let me go to the job details section and see what else do we have in here. So we can see IAM role, whatever we have selected, type is Spark and Glue version 5.1, Python 3 got selected. Worker type, here we have an option to select from these worker types. But you might have noticed that in requested number of worker, the number of worker is by default 5. Anyways, we are not going to use 5. We are going to change this parameter from notebook section. So we're gonna have some magic command in notebook. We're gonna take help of them, and we can change any of these configuration from those magic commands. Even if you go up into this page, you're gonna see some message that job config fields are controlled by notebook configuration magics. If you want to change any of these fields, you can use the appropriate magic command in your notebook. So we're gonna do that now in action. Let me go to the notebook. Here it is saying that to start using your notebook, you need to start an AWS Glue interactive session. So this is what I was talking about when I was talking about interactive session. As of now, no interactive session is started for us. What you can do, you can also save this job. So this job got saved. Okay, so you can again go, okay, to run the job, you can choose run the job, but I need not to run it because I'm going to run my code using notebook. I'm not going to run it as a ETL job for now. Okay, so let's do one thing, and yeah, so here we have some MD cells here, right? And we have some cells having magic command also. So if you want to see what all magic commands are available, you can run this command. So you can just go ahead and click this run button, or else you can click here and then then press Control Enter in your keyboard. It's gonna show you a lot of magic commands which are available over here, and here you can see that you can specify a region in which you are working. You can specify the timeout after which your notebook will get closed. So this is very important parameter, this timeout, right? So you need to really take care of it. By default it will be 48 hours, and you do not want your notebook to run for 48 hours. So for your practice it would be good if you will maintain it as 30 minutes or 1 hour. If you are confident enough that you're going to use it for continuously for 2 or 3 hours, then accordingly you can adjust the timeout. Okay, but for your practice, for I think 15 minutes, 30 minutes or 1 hour is more than enough. So there are a lot of magic command. We will also see magic command in order to reset number of workers, and we are actually going to do it now. So I'm just going to the next cell. So here is the next cell where we can see the magic commands, and some PySpark commands are also here. So here you can adjust the timeout. This timeout is in minutes, and basically 2880 means 48 hours. I do not want to run it for 48 hours, so I'll just alter it to 15 minute. I'm good with the glue version. I'm good with the worker type G1X, but number of workers I would like to keep it as 2. This is really very important, guys. You should also change it to 2, because as many workers you will select, that much cost you gonna pay. Okay. Rest of the code is same, like, so we are going to create a Spark context and finally the Spark session. So as soon as I will run this cell, interactive session will get started in this session history. You will be able to see an entry for it. So let me just go ahead and click on Control Enter, and immediately I'll go here and refresh, and here you can see that it started provisioning a cluster for me. Let me just sort it out for you. Okay, so it has started provisioning a cluster for me, and you can see over here that these are the number of workers with which it will start the worker for me, and the worker type will be G1X. It's gonna take me 30 seconds or 40 seconds, and after that the status will become ready. And here also we can see the status. We can see that it is showing us that ideal timeout has set to be 15 minutes. This is the glue version you are using, and this is the worker type you have selected. You have selected number of worker as 2, and here you can see that the session has been created. So if I'll just go here and see the status, I have just refreshed it, and now you can see the status as ready. Now you are good to run your notebook code, so you just need to run the cells now. So let's run a couple of cells just to keep just to see how, and just to get a flavor of it, how this notebook really works. So here you can see that, let me just zoom in a bit. Here you can see that in this particular cell we are creating a dynamic frame. So by this time I need not to tell you what is dynamic frame, because we have been discussing it from last couple of videos. So here we are creating a dynamic frame from using a catalog, and here they have given a sample code, but they have not filled any information because they do not know which database and table you're gonna use, or maybe which all database and tables are available in your region. So we can go ahead and pull out some database and table names. So let me go to Athena, and I'll copy this particular database. So I'm going to connect with the commerce DB, and I will connect with orders underscore processed table. After that, we can just go ahead and run this cell. And this time, let me run it from here. Okay, so okay, it is taking some time or what? Oh, it was taking some time. Okay, maybe for the very first time it has taken this much of a time. Otherwise, it usually do not take this much time. So what it has done as what it has done is it has connected to the glue catalog, and it has created a dynamic frame on top of this table, and after that we have just printed the schema. So this is how the schema look like, and after that in the next cell we have just converted that dynamic frame to the data frame. So we have discussed this also in the last video, right? Like how you can convert your dynamic frame to the data frame. So let me quickly run this cell also, and after that we can just close the demo. Okay, so it is also running. This time I have used Shift plus Enter, and here you can see that it has converted my dynamic frame to data frame, and it has shown me the top 20 rows. You can also check this sample code because it will also be available for you. Let me see if it is running or not. So I'll just try running it. Okay, it has created basically it has plotted some chart for me with some sample data, and it is again some sample command which you can run. But I need not to run it because for this demo, I think this much is enough for you. Again, I'm saying that you should be really careful while setting up this uh, timeout for this particular notebook, because otherwise it will keep on running and you will not be aware of it, that it will eat up your cost, right? It will eat up your all of your balance, all of your credit, so you should be very very careful about it. Now here, let's say you have created the notebook. Now you are satisfied with your code, then either you can just what you can do, you can directly save your code from here, or else you can just copy paste your code from here, or else you can also download the notebook using this download button. So let me just click here, so you can see over here that my notebook got downloaded in with this name, demo notebook, which is my job name dot ipynb. And once you're satisfied, you can just go ahead and click on this stop notebook. So yeah, this notebook code is stopped and now you're not able to see any code over here, right? If you want to see the code, then you will have to start the notebook first. So which impact does it have in my cluster? We can see it, right? So once we have clicked on close, that stop or close button, you will see that this status will also get closed and it will be changed to stopping. So I've refreshed my page, and here we can see that the status is stopping, and after some couple of not couple of seconds but 30 or 40 seconds it's gonna get changed to stopped. And it will also show you that for how much time it ran and how much TPU hour actually you have utilized. So I hope this much of a demo is enough, and it is really good. You can also use this notebook for your learning purpose guide. I will highly recommend you to do it. I think that's it for this video, guys. I'll meet you in the next video. Till then, take care.